Is there anyone else there that wants to come in? Okay.
I'll go see.
No, you
No.
won't. You have to talk.
And Todd couldn't be here tonight since he is the subsection 1A coordinator for the Minnesota State High School League, section 1A. He is working at a track meet tonight as one of the supervisors. So he apologized, but had that track meet scheduled and could not get out of that. UNESCO helped put the lion's share of this together. You can't see it very well, but it's a green chalkboard with little erasers, so it's a school background.
No, it's just going to be on the website.
We will put the PowerPoint on the website, so people can view that too. So if you're watching it online, the PowerPoint will go on the website. The project goals, mainly it's to improve the indoor air quality, to make sure that we are getting air moving, so it's fresh air, that it's filtered, so we're filtering out the pollen, so we're filtering out and reducing the excess moisture. We live in a floodplain, we have a lot of excessive moisture, so this will take care of that, and to make it really an efficient environment for learning, so that the lighting is adequate as well. So first we have there. No, you need to go backwards.
Thank you.
There.
Anymore.
Okay. So here's the scope. The dehumidification, also known as air conditioning, will provide cooler, drier air during the hot months. So September, we're not going to have poor little melting sixth graders upstairs anymore. The new heating system will be more efficient and will require less maintenance. The environments will be monitored and controlled by the automation system, and so we'll actually be able to dial in the temperatures, similar to what we can do in this building, and that's getting improved too. And the new lights, we've gotten a little insight into what the new lights will be at the elementary by some of the new lights. We don't have the new lights in here yet. We'll get those LEDs in here after we abate the ceiling. But the new lights in the classrooms that have the LEDs, it's a huge difference. And the kids noticed it right away. It really is much more conducive to learning. And the added benefit is the new fluorescent tubes, or the new LED tubes, have a much longer lifespan than the fluorescent tubes. So our cost for bulb replacement is going to be very slight, because the new LED bulbs that we're buying have a 22-year lifespan.
And there's no ballast involved, right?
In some, there's no ballast in most. In some of the retrofit, we had to do a modified ballast, and I'm finding out more about that. The details, the majority of the work will begin, the work has already begun with the energy savings project, has really started in November. But the majority of the work will begin May 23rd. And we're hoping that it will be done August 17th. And definitely before the in-service. Elementary school and school grounds will be a construction zone the entire summer. So from May 23rd until project completion, the school and the school grounds are really kind of off limits. And the city did approve us using Elm Street, that is closed right now by Gates. They approved that so we can have the trailers parked on that street as long as we move them in such a way that it does not rip up the existing pavement. Andy Sweet and I went and talked to Randy Tessing. about that. So abatement will begin May 23rd in the elementary building, and we'll go in through July 1st. The first 2 weeks of the abatement process will be in the basement, the library, and the art room in the basement. The next 2 weeks will be the top floor, and the final 2 weeks of abatement will be the main floor. At the high school, it will begin June 6th in this area. So the classrooms on this east wing that still have the old 2x4 tiles need to be abated. That will take 2 weeks, and then it will continue until June 24th. That final week of abatement at the high school will be the choir room. So the choir room and the hallway right outside of the choir room will be a containment center. Now, some people will voluntarily be in the buildings while the buildings are being abated. Barb Vicks and Rick Bartz asked to remain in the district office to handle calls, to be there, so when someone buzzes and tries to come in, there is the response as far as where people are now or where delivery should be brought. And even though it's being abated here, there's not really going to be anything airborne here. So that we'll stay in the district office will be open all summer.
We could forward the phones for them, right? So you didn't have to
Oh,
go
yes.
there. I mean, you guys don't have to go there. I mean, we could put a note on the door.
Yeah.
No
We're-
one's
it's fine.
here.
I mean, we're gonna be in the hallway, or up in the main floor, so they'll be upstairs.
And they're gonna be using all the precautions that
Right.
we
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about earlier, so.
Barb requested, said, please don't make me move yet. So
Well, but if it gets loud or something, I mean, you guys can
Mhm.
obviously reevaluate if.
oh, sure, and they will be, when that floor gets abated, they have to be moving out anyway. So they will be coming over to the high school building at some point, and the calls will be forwarded.
Okay.
Just for that short period of time.
But it's for that short period of time, and I just wanted the board to also know that they requested, please let us stay for a little bit, so.
The only issue I have, I thought our motion was that everybody would be out. When we passed that. So we have to
Your
change it.
motion would be, no one would be forced to be in the building.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, no children in the building, and no teachers would be, because that's one of those things where you said you didn't want to have the teachers to have to come back in those
Okay.
last days when the kids weren't
I can't remember
there.
what it said, but I thought it said everybody, but maybe not.
And that's why I wanted to put it in here, because
Okay, that's fine.
if somebody sees somebody walking into the building and it's like, hold on, nobody's supposed to be in there. It's-
Okay.
So in other words, he's breaking the rules.
I don't know.
He's not listening to
He's not a teacher, so.
Well, we don't want the public coming to find you and entering the
No.
building.
No.
No.
So,
No.
well.
So they have to
don't-
ring in, see, and so he
Well,
can
that's
say,
true.
no, I can hear you.
Yes.
So,
Call me.
Call.
But that's a good point, Michael. Any meetings with public will have to be
Oh,
someplace else.
Off-site, yes.
Mhm.
But I'm expecting during that week that went away to be out and about more than in.
This is about the high school first. So 2 classes will be remodeled into DCD space. That's for the more significantly handicapped students that we have. This does require some movement of other teachers to other classrooms. And Mr. Lundberg, if he were here, would talk about the fact that he's already talked to the teachers that have to be moving and already talking about how that move is going to go. New energy efficient windows will be installed throughout the building. The updated temperature control systems. We're realizing that that HVAC system that we put in here 7 years ago isn't really providing some of the energy savings we thought it would, and it's because those control systems aren't really handling it. So that's going to go in place, and that HVAC deep cleaning, Mavo Systems is going to be coming in and really cleaning that out and making sure that it's going to be running at peak efficiency. So we should be able to see the savings we thought we were going to have when that was installed.
Isn't this the one we also put the screens on? The screens weren't on? Or-
The screens weren't on, and so those screens
And so
are on.
if it's cleaned and you have the screens,
Yeah.
it should.
The screens were on the chiller, but in the deep cleaning is going to be in the ductwork up above. There was some venting that wasn't happening, and so the ductwork, especially in the east wing, was just, the filters were totally plugged. And so when the filters are plugged, no system is going to run at full efficiency. And so that's one of those things where we'll have the maintenance schedule, so we're sure that it gets cleaned every year, so we never get to this point again. It's just having the schedule, having the plan. The high school exterior, that, in fact, it's not just the exterior mural. Before we put it online, I need to change that the high school exterior on the 1957 section will be removed. The EFA system will be replaced, and it will be redone with brick instead. As we've talked about before, the EFA system is crumbling at the base and taking on water. And that's because it's on the north side and the water is running to the building. But this is the section, and then here's the gym floor. That's what the gym floor is going to look like. The bleachers are going to be, we don't have a drawing of the bleachers, but the bleachers are going to be red bleachers, and they're going to have white HHS. So as you walk in and the bleachers are pushed in, they will be red with HHS, and even when you pull them out, it will still be able to be read as HHS when they're pulled out. The bleachers we have there are original to the 1968 gym.
What happens to the bleachers that get hauled out?
The bleachers start getting removed June 15th. The company that is taking them out at a reduced cost because we're letting them take the metal for recycling. And that's, the company that came and gave us the bid on that said that they haven't seen bleachers like that for 20 years. I'm sure they haven't.
They're in good shape.
No, that's why we're replacing them. But this is also why, if Todd were here, this is why he would say, we'd like to get the tarps to cover this floor. So when we have graduation, when we have things where there's a lot of chairs under, when ACE has their annual meeting, we have the tarp down first. So this floor can stay this nice for another, Todd thinks that the floor was sanded down and repainted either the year before he came or the year after he came, and Todd has now been here 25, 26 years. Long time. So if we take care of it, it'll last a long time. Elementary school project details, you want to take this one, Rick?
No, you're doing a nice job.
Well, we'd like to hear you, Rick. Go ahead. Jump in.
It's all up there.
What was that?
Chris is doing a nice job.
The boiler replacement, remember that's going to be hot water heat instead of steam. And so we can do the forced air heating and cooling. It'll have the digital temperature control system. The roof is getting replaced, and then it also says new roofing system. The reason for that, the new roofing system is some of the ventilation, heating and cooling that will be placed on the roof. So it will provide some more of that optimal heat and cooling exchange. And also they'll get the energy saving lighting So they'll also get LED lights, and some of their plumbing measures have already been installed. With the energy-saving lighting, with the new LED lights, we could actually get lights that matched the period of the building. So those had been removed, but now, next fall, when people walk into the building and walk toward the gym, they will be the down rod lights in the hallway again that were there originally when that building was built. And so they will have that 1939 look and, but still provide the LED lights. I can't wait to see them. The lowered hallway ceilings, instead of having all that ductwork in the hallway, we're having the false ceiling, but we're going with the coffer ceiling so it'll match the architectural design. And you'll notice that we can't see any of the sprinkler system. The tiles that we're getting, the ceiling tiles that we're getting, if there ever were a fire in the building and the sprinkler system was activated, the tiles that are created for the ceiling will dissolve as soon as water hits them, so the sprinkler system will still work. And so that way we don't have to see all the sprinkler pipes, but we still have the safety of having a sprinkled building.
So we do want false alarms then?
We don't.
No.
Installing ceilings.
What's the cost to replace?
Good
False alarm.
Good point, Gary.
Actually, if that would be, if we had that type of false alarm, I think that's covered in the insurance plan.
Insurance,
And
yeah.
we'll make sure that that's covered in
It
insurance.
is.
The new cooling equipment will be installed on the south side of the school. That's the chiller pad that's there now. That's where the chiller is going to go to provide the dehumidification and cooling for the building. This architectural rendering has the solid panels around the chiller. We decided that since the chiller isn't really going to be running that much at night, we're doing the chain link fence instead. And if you've driven Lacrosse down Jackson Street, you'll see that there's chain link fence with some of the plastic, and the kids have actually made design in the chain link fence. And I think what an absolutely phenomenal activity. We can have the chiller fence be a project either for the art class, or maybe the sixth graders every year get to have their sixth grade project and do their own designs on the chiller fence as kind of for the year. This is their work making their mark on the school. And I think we could really turn that into an absolutely phenomenal activity for the kids in the school. And it will look so much better than a solid wall around the chiller. Ventilation equipment, the picture, the rendering, they kept drawing these fake trees, so it's hard to see things.
These are huge trees, by the way.
Yes. The ladder on the north side on top of what used to be for drama.
The light area.
For the lights.
To the light booth.
Prop
That
or
won't
whatever.
be there. We don't need that one because there was another way to get up to the roof they added, if you see on the second floor, the second window on the room, so the second window to the left on that second floor facing the north, there's now a door there, or there will be a door there. And so people can walk out onto the roof, and then there's a ladder up to do the maintenance on the equipment that's going to be on the rooftop. And the door will be locked and no kids will be able to get out of that door, don't worry. The Early Childhood Center, at the preschool, there will be new energy efficient windows installed. Instead of the glass block at the bottom, there will be panels of, it's the brown bronze color that we have for the new secure entrances. It's that same color to make sure it's totally waterproof. So if we have snow runoff, we don't ever have to worry about runoff into the preschool again. So it's really making sure that it's very watertight, and then the windows will be above that. They also have the LED lights, and the HVAC equipment will be totally cleaned, so it will be running more efficiently. Now here's the schedule changes due to construction. From May 23rd through May 27th, the high school, the elementary students will be in locations around Houston. We are not really publicizing the locations for the safety of the students, but we have those locations booked, and everybody in Houston has been incredibly gracious to work with and very welcoming. The K-6 students will no longer have school May 31st through June 2nd, but the teachers will still be working those days. Now, parents of students will be sent a letter and will know specifically where their children will be. They will have all the details about that week. So even though we're not announcing publicly what's going on, the parents will absolutely know.
And I think the letter should be letters plural, because the first letter will be coming out this week saying this is the location, these are the field trips they'll be taking. Next letters will be coming out saying these are some of the details we want you to think about as far as the main location we'll meet at, and you can still contact. So a lot of the details will still be coming out up through the next 3 weeks.
But we decided that we really couldn't give the parents enough. There's not too much information with this process. We want to make sure all the communication is there so everybody knows what's going on. And now some staff at the elementary's building might be working the weekends of May 14th, 15th, and May 21st, 22nd. We did get an MOU with the teachers union because there's nothing in the contract about flexing time. So we worked out an MOU so the teachers could flex up to 2 days from that last week and work on a weekend. So no one is being asked to work without pay. As soon as we find out what days the teachers are going to be there, those staff members who will not have May 31st, June 1st, or June 2nd to work, they will be able to sign up to work with the teachers so that they can have a way to make up the hours they will be losing. So no one is going to be losing pay because of this either. Now here's some schedule changes, and these were the ones that Rick was talking about. Starting May 23rd, all students will start and will come to the high school building. So we will have monitors here for the elementary students. The elementary students get the gym. The high school students don't. So then we'll make sure that they are monitored, and just like they come to the elementary building before school, they'll come to the high school building instead. So everybody starts their day in the high school building. From that point, all the elementary students will be transported to their off-campus sites. So I don't want any of the kids going to those off-campus sites first, because I need to make sure that there's somebody there. And so that's why here I know that they're going to have supervision.
Are you're whether they normally eat breakfast or not, you're expecting them all to eat breakfast?
No, if they do eat breakfast, they'll eat breakfast at the high school prior to leaving. So I don't want somebody saying, well, we're going to the high school, we don't get breakfast now. No, if you'll start your day at the high school, you'll get breakfast here. If you're late for breakfast, because I know some people are worried, well, if I come late for breakfast and I need to get on the bus and go to my off-campus site, we've already talked to Robin in the kitchen, and she can do a sack breakfast. So they'll put together a sack breakfast for the students. So if a student is late and doesn't have time to eat breakfast at the high school, they still will be allowed to eat breakfast. And the teachers are, they already know that some of their kids will be coming with the sack breakfast because they were late getting here. Sack lunches will be served, because we looked at transporting all the students, and the teachers looked at how much time it takes to load them on the bus, to offload them, to get them through the lunch line, to get them to eat, then to load them back on the bus, to get them back onto their site. And it was just, it would be easier if those people that wanted a lunch would get the sack lunch, and it would be labeled with their name so everybody knows. And Robin already made sure that on the lunch menu, the sack lunches are already on the lunch menu for that week. So if you're signing up as an elementary parent for a lunch, you know right away that you're getting that sack lunch, and you'll know what's included. So that's already taken care of. Attendance for the elementary students will be taken at the high school building. That's why it's important that all the kids come here. And then, once they get to the individual sites, we're taking attendance again. We're going to be very hyper vigilant about security and safety. Anything you want to add on that, Mr. Bartz? You've done so
And
much
then-
on this schedule.
Thanks. And then at each site, we are currently looking at having an additional teacher who isn't assigned to a classroom, such as the access teacher. So there'll be an additional teacher and an additional para at each one of the sites. So there'll be, some of them will have several classes, and some of them will have just one grade level. So there'll be additional staff members at each site.
So when the kids all come here and meet here, will they just all, right, as soon as they're done eating breakfast or whatever their choices are, will they just go right into the gym as a checkpoint?
They're going to go to the gym first, check in, and then go for breakfast.
Okay.
That's the original plan.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they stay in the gym if they don't eat breakfast.
Correct.
Right.
And there'll be a teacher there with them so that they'll feel comfortable, particularly with the lower grades. And lower grades might even come over here the week before and just say, this is what we need. So,
That's a good idea.
Mhm.
kids are kind of getting excited about it.
Right.
And now preschool continues as normal.
No,
No.
no,
Is there no preschool?
correct.
Okay.
And a hurricane watch will be at the preschool. And then we'll work out a situation, or details with the hurricane watch person to walk them over here or bus them over here. And the hurricane watch is finished in the morning. And then again, in the afternoon, as a group.
Remind me, is Hurricane Watch available to preschoolers or no?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so any kids that would have went to preschool could go to Hurricane Watch, but not the entire day.
Right.
So those parents will have to adjust.
Correct, yes.
That wasn't on my radar for,
Should
as
have
a
been a
parent.
letter, there was a letter that went home to preschool parents.
I'm sure it was, yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
I probably didn't see it.
Yeah, that went out about 2 weeks ago.
That's okay.
Good thing you're here.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Impact to the community, there will be, we are a community school. Summer recreation, that's one of the ones where I've been asked the most questions. First, the school isn't in charge of summer rec, but that's okay, because there's a lot of things that are happening. The high school fields are open all summer. The elementary field is not viable for games because all of that equipment will be parked on the street. If they want to use it for practice, they have to know that the city would be assuming the liability if anything is damaged. And so that's the kind of the ongoing conversation. I've already talked to the summer rec director about that, and he wasn't comfortable with having practices there, knowing that there would be some liability for all of that equipment sitting there. But I think he's got to talk to the people at City Hall too, to explain that.
Will there be fencing up around, I mean, because for instance, there's a playground quite close to where there's going to be trucks parked, or is that going to be shut down?
Most of the trailers are going to be parked on that would be the west side of that street, kind of from the alley over. The whole street probably won't be used. And so down by the playground area, the playground area really won't have much by it. There's probably not going to be many, I can't imagine the trailers being down there as much. And so that the playground area, for somebody just coming to play on the playgrounds, And the Owen Onsgard Support the Court, nothing is there. So that, the Support the Court, that's free and clear all summer. The alley, there will be a big crane there, so kids shouldn't play in the alley. But I don't think.
We'll look at maybe putting up some snow fence.
No plan.
Yeah.
Strategic areas.
Yeah.
That's-
Hoedown, both gyms are closed for the summer until the middle of August. The high school gym is closed from the middle of June when they start removing the bleachers until I think the gym floor will be able to be walked on, and the bleachers will be back in, I think it was August 10th, if I remember the timeline correctly. And that elementary gym is being used for storage. The entire kindergarten room is getting new carpet, so everything from the kindergarten room has to move out of there. So that's going to be in the gym. Yeah, just Angela's. Yep, just one room is getting new carpet, but the teacher that was in that room before had requested carpet, I think the last 10 years she was here. And so it's on beyond time. The reason that it wasn't approved is that we have to abate the floor when we remove the carpet. And so now that we're doing the rest of the abatement, it makes sense to just abate everything at once. So that reduces the cost of carpeting than if we would have just abated that one room. And the impact for you guys, June 7th, the school board meeting, we'll have to move to the choir room. We'll stream it via the Cube since we aren't putting up new cameras, because we found out we can't put anything in that ceiling because that room has to be abated too. So that's the impact for
So
the
like,
community. So it's
Phi Ed, would they have Phi Ed anymore, or would that be done? Would they have art?
Oh, for the elementary?
Yeah.
Yes, we're working out the schedule with the specials as far as, and that will,
Right. A lot of times they'll be on field trips, but we'll work out some special, for the special classes for when they have them. It's a great question because,
They'll have a lot of energy at that time of the year. I would think.
yeah. But I think there'll be choir, or band and choir practice for the 5th and 6th sometime that time too, because they're concert later. So it's,
and so that's, yep. So that's one of those things where Rick said letters will be coming out with more details. That's, we're working out that, the specials, so they will still get that when they're not on their field trip, and those teachers will still be. The nice thing that the teachers that do the specials, other than Dave Renigan, who's not ever in this building or doesn't have a class here, the others, Deb Sobek has her art room here that she could use, and it's not in use during the afternoon when she teaches her specials to the elementary kids. Steve Munderloh can use the choir room because that's not in use when he's going to teach the specials to the elementary students. And then Lisa Shuddy with the media could possibly come in and use the computers here to teach the media classes as well. So we're working all of that out, but then that requires the transportation, so that's something else that we're working with Randy Muller to make sure that happens.
So one of the benefits of this is the entire school system could be operated through the summer. Is that correct?
What do you mean when everything's done?
Yeah,
done,
when everything's done, not, after the
So we get
construction.
school year round, is that what you're saying,
Yeah,
Kevin?
well, I'm just, it is kind
Oh.
of, it's a trend, and I'm not suggesting it. Don't call me.
What was your phone number again, Kevin?
I may be, but I just want to know that's all the buildings will be functional for events through the summer
From now on.
from now on. Okay, good.
And
Stop
that's,
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Chris Coulson from UNESCO put this on there, that construction is a temporary inconvenience for a permanent improvement. And what we're doing to this building now is going to last for 25 to 50 years. So we won't have to do anything of this magnitude again, unless, of course, we want to build onto the elementary building.
No, I wouldn't.
But
Yeah.
I also want the community to know
You have
that,
to over there now.
just like we have the long-term facility maintenance updates at every board meeting, as soon as the work starts, so at that June 7th meeting, that update section will include a progress of the work to date and how it's going. And so updates will be included in each board meeting throughout the summer, until that second board meeting in August, when I hope to be able to say, it's done. But really, that's, if you have any questions,
Call Rick.
that's, and
He's
really,
helping you out, man.
yes.
I got it.
If you
right.
have a
It's all right.
question about the elementary, please direct the questions to Rick Bartz. If you have a question about the high school, please direct those questions to Todd Lundberg. If you have a question about the preschool, please direct those back again to Rick Bartz, or any of those can come to me. But one of the things that we're trying to stop is people asking questions of someone that doesn't really know what's going on, and stopping the misinformation. So if you have a question, please come to one of the three of us. We're really not scary people at all.
Corinne, can we reiterate one more time for the public, the funding mechanism that we're taking advantage of, where we're getting, is it
88%.
88.
88% from the state? It's a one-time situation, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this, is because we have an opportunity to use state money as opposed to local property tax.
Correct.
Correct.
And this is all work that needs to be done.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
something we
this
had
is
on
where,
our-
we were supposed to replace that elementary roof about at least 5 years ago. It has been made to last longer than what its life expectancy was by a long shot.
Mhm.
And there are other, up to the front of the building, when they did the core samples, every core sample was a different depth, which makes me really nervous, but I have been told that it will be fine.
That'd be fine, don't worry about it. Good.
But these are all things that really desperately needed to be done, so.
It's a good point though,
it's-
Kevin.
yeah,
You know,
it's a
you
very
said
good point.
The finances, why we're doing it, and
And I
like
get more
Gary
questions on
said.
that than anything. If I get a question at all, it's about why, how are we paying for it?
Right.
So
Wow.
we're taking advantage of a one-time situation.
That very few
and it
schools
just
in the
all
state
worked
have
out
the
perfect.
opportunity to do. I
Well-
mean, we're fortunate, like Gary said, all of these projects have been on the books that we've talked about, has been part of the facilities for as long as I can remember. Right, Gary? I mean, you and I, most of these things we've talked about for years.
Oh yeah, especially the bleachers, we
Right.
never,
We never dreamed we'd
Yeah,
have
the
the money
end
to
of
do
it
it.
from Todd.
Yeah, Todd's been beating us up every year. And Rick on his facility over there and updates, I mean, there's just things that, we've done so many things already. I mean, with the elevator, or at the elementary school, and, I mean, this is just gonna enhance our schools, like you said, Corinne, for the next 25 to 50 years. The boiler system, the energy efficiency that we're coming up with even today, when you were saying the money we're seeing savings today on things that we've just initially started. So I can only imagine what it's gonna be like in, time to come. So it's gonna be all good.
So in addition to a first-class cadre of teachers and a first-class teaching system, now we're gonna have first-class buildings.
Correct. And we have first-class students. So, hey, we're well-rounded. Right, Kevin?
Well, we should utilize that some, I've been thinking about that. I mean,
It's marketing.
yep, we could market here a little bit too.
Mm.
I've been pushing for that for a long time as
Yep.
well.
It's
It's
So
hard
we
to
should
know how
have
to
some
do it.
discussion of that, not right now, but at another time.
Mm-hmm.
I got some ideas on that one. That one I think we could do.
Wholeheartedly.
No, it's, We are incredibly
We're very,
fortunate that
very, very fortunate
That
from the.
our
with
predecessors
HR.
took care of the buildings the way they did, so we've got buildings to continue to really maintain.
And the personnel here, I mean, you can't,
Thanks for your work on it,
from
Chris.
ground up,
Oh,
teachers, everybody. I mean, we're fortunate,
Mhm.
so.
I'm sure you'll be happy when it's over.
Only a few months, we'll be good to go, right, Kevin?
Any questions from the community?
I don't know how many hundreds of people I've seen.
I'll probably have some as I'm putting this together, but
All right, good to go.
I
Oh,
can't think of anything.
definitely. That's
Okay.
email, phone, either.
The PowerPoint, the presentation's gonna be online too for you to.
Yeah.
But don't we adjourn the public meeting?
No, the public meeting.
We already
is-
adjourned.
Yep.
No, we already
Tom
did.
never called it.
We
But
probably.
thank you,
It
thank
goes
you for
on
coming,
forever.
thank you for
Go on,
listening if you're
Kevin, we're good.
online.
Just keep the cameras running. I still like my idea, man. June 7th. Could we all do that?
And did you give that PowerPoint to the staff?
Not yet, I will now after.